Hello, friends. Coach Powers. It has been quite a minute. Quite a minute. And as the expression goes, the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I am still here kicking, kicking Benzo withdrawal ass. So, let me address a few things real quick because it's been almost 8 months since I've had a check in with you guys and put out really a new video since Lake of Fire came out. And people have written to me and said, Coach, are you still coaching? What happened to you? I even had someone reach out to me and said, Coach, I heard you had a setback. Is this true? So let me clear the air. No, did not have a setback. I can assure you that. I had a set forward. It's a new term I'm marketing. Set forward. Things have been going very well in terms of my coaching and recovery work. Being a coach has been such a hell of a learning experience, and I really feel like I'm really coming into my stride right now. Where all the things that I've been working on and the concepts and experiences is really starting to merge together in the best way. So, no, things are doing really good, guys. Like I said, last time I put out a video was 7, 8 months ago, and it was does Coach Powers believe in bind? Because that was one of the things that I uh, kept hearing. Coach doesn't believe in buying. Coach doesn't believe in protracted. And actually, I published on my website a blog that was 10 common misconceptions about Coach Powers, which I'll probably end up sharing here too. I'll just verbalize it. But well, that was one of those things. Coach thinks buying isn't real and it's a bunch of nonsense, and that's not true. But I put that video out right after I launched Lake of Fire, and that was last July. We finally finished that damn beast of a film. We went through COVID and pregnancies and everything you could imagine, equipment breaking and losing, um, um, sh- uh, locations that we were shooting at, and just you wouldn't believe how much that entailed. But we finally got it finished. Basically, me and one other guy doing, everything, editing, shooting, color grading, you name it. And I'm really, really proud of how it came out. Could it be better? Sure. We tried to get Tom Cruise and Charlene Theron to star in it. We couldn't afford them. So, but for what we had, I'm really proud of the actors. I'm proud of everything about that film. I really think it tells a great story. And I know some people were, well, it could be darker, and then other people said, Coach, it was too dark. So what are you going to do? If you're going to lead people in the darkness, you got to be able to lead them out of darkness, I believe. And I think Lake of Fire was my Rocky story for Benzo Recovery, and I'm very proud of it. Again, the film is probably close now to almost 60,000 views with virtually no marketing, nothing, just word of mouth and floating around YouTube, which is pretty cool in itself. And it was very well received. So many people left wonderful comments, people that wrote me. I had multiple people reach out to me and say, I think that film might have saved my life. Like it really put me back on a healing path, and it fueled some hope when I really needed it. So, as an artist, as a filmmaker, and as a psychologist now, what more can you ask for, right? Like that's the greatest feeling. That's the greatest thing a human can do, I think. Um, Not saying I'm great, but it's a great thing to do. It makes me feel really well, very good that I was able to give back in some way like that. So anyway, there's that news. If you haven't seen Lake of Fire, go on this YouTube channel and watch it. What are you waiting for? It's not too scary. You can always hit pause and come back to it. It starts a little heavier than it ends. I'll tell you that. It's a roller coaster ride, but there's hope, and there's direction in it, and there's validation. So I hope you give it a chance if you haven't, and leave me a like and maybe a comment. So what else? I wrote a little list here so I don't forget anything. Uh, Benzo Recovery School, still doing that. Yes, Benzo Recovery School. I think we're at like 130, 140 students now. Um, it's still, for the time being anyway, it's still $30 a month. I didn't end up upping the rate for that because I wanted it to be very accessible. There's so many people hit financially hard in withdrawal, and I wanted that resource to be available. And my God, has it grown. We have the absolute best community, I think, out there. I mean, just the most loving, awesome, compassionate, success, winning, heal, wanting to heal driven group of people you will find in the Benzo community. So proud of them. They've become like my extended family. So much love to my students in the Benzo school. They're amazing. And we have weekly Zoom meetings at this point. God, I can't believe I've been doing this. I think it's about the roll of 3 years or more, something like that. And we have accumulated, I record the meetings and I keep them private in the school. And we have now over like 300 hours or something of recorded content. And it's not just Q&A. It's a lot of me teaching about the nervous system, dysregulation, sensitization, neuroplasticity building, you name it, everything from insomnia to things you wouldn't even imagine. I mean, we've really covered the spectrum on lessons, and it's very cool. It's a great resource. So people get in school, and that alone, they go in there and they can spend the next 2 months just catching up on content. So that's very cool. And we have, of course, the 4-stage recovery program, which is the bread and butter, the skeleton foundation of my recovery program. It's 4 stages. Each stage has about 4 key learning goals and 4 key roadblocks. You can learn more about this, by the way, on my website. I've done a big update on my website, and I have a lot of information on the school, the bear, which if some of you probably are familiar with the bear, I talk a lot about that. What the hell was that? Did you see that? And neuroplasticity and everything. So there's a lot of content there. I added 2 new spaces on my website, by the way. I'm starting to detour a little bit here. One new space on the website is called withdrawal basics. So if you want up-to-date information on withdrawal basics, not just the doom and gloom stuff that comes from some of the more scarier sites out there, which I can tell you is a lot of pseudoscience and fear-based stuff, cherry picking, presenting the worst possible thing, and really just scaring the hell out of you. And I don't think it's helpful. This is, I argue, much better science, and I challenge anyone to challenge my science. I've spent a lot of time researching. I've been a research scientist for at least 15 years now, so I take research seriously. And it's a great fresh look on everything benzos, from addiction versus dependence versus what's sensitization, what's dysregulation, and how do we build neuroplasticity, et cetera, symptoms, you name it. It's a hell of a library that I've been building. So there's about 20 or 21 lessons right now on my website for free. You can go view those. And then I created another section called the Science of Healing, which is all about, well, the science of healing. It's the more deep research into the methods behind the things that I use in my school. Again, neuroplasticity, the exercises, if you want to know the actual science of why something like mindfulness works, it's there. And I even included references so you can, do a deeper dive if you should want to. So that's available. But back to the school. These spaces are also available in the school. So I kind of release a certain fraction of this content out there for free, just for everyone. And then, of course, my students are going to get a little extra. So you're going to have more spaces, more content. Like I said, weekly Zoom meetings, 300 hours of recorded content, and then multiple courses. So we have the North Star, which now are animated videos. I started working with a program, was able to create these awesome little animations and really just illustrate everything that I've been doing, the healing narrative, your key learning goals, your daily checklists and exercises, and basically how to meet a dysregulated, sensitized nervous system where it's at, and retrain it, coax it back into the healing way again, into the healing direction, how to lull down your nervous system and then gently push back against those debilitating symptoms. And one thing I've done over the last few years since starting the school, which has been the best thing I've ever done in my life and the most meaningful thing, not just in the souls that I've been able to work with, but as now a clinical psychologist working in this field, it has challenged me in so many ways, and it's really become my laboratory, and I'm able to see what works and adjust things and build things and learn from my students, and it's really upped my game as a coach and as a scientist tremendously. So my recovery program now, I think, is better than it's ever been, and like I said earlier, I feel like I'm kind of coming into my stride now as a coach, and I really feel like I can help people a lot more than I used to in the past, where this is hard work. Any of you coaches out there, you know what I'm talking about. It is a really hard hard job. What else? Finishing up my second edition of the Powers Manual. Some of you have the first book. I kind of cringe now because, it was this book that I made a long, long time ago. And I just thought, well, I'll put out my story and, some tips on healing, and then I'll parlay into something else. Was working on my clinical psych degree, and I just thought I would end up becoming an anxiety therapist or something. And here I am, still in the benzo community doing this work. Was not on my bingo card, but it's been amazing. And now I'm finishing up the second edition of the Powers Manual. I'm going to release the old edition probably on my website for free, just a PDF. You can just go ahead and download it and have it. The second edition is going to be, it's already 3 times bigger. It's much more scientific, still has a warm, friendly tone, but it covers so much more, and it has a lot more of my tools and what I use to help people move forward. And I have had tremendous success in helping people move forward. And I want that to come through in this update too, that if you're feeling stuck or you're doubting the process or you don't think you can heal, it's absolutely not true. You 100% will heal and keep moving forward. Sometimes you get stuck. A lot of times we get stuck. And so that's important to know how to get unstuck and how to work within your nervous system to keep moving forward. And there's a lot of coaches now out there. There's so many different YouTube influencers. I never really cared about being an influencer. I'm just a nerd that wants to, do work in this, meaningful work in this community. But I'm starting to realize that, you got to kind of play the game a little bit. So, and it's been several months, so I really need to get back to putting out new content for what it's worth. I think people have forgotten I existed. So second edition Powers Manual will be out hopefully by summer, working hard on that. And that's about it. I think that's about it. So there's your quick, not so quick Coach Powers update and what's been going on here. And if you want coaching, if you're interested in having a conversation, an assessment, a different way of looking at things, you can reach out to me via my website, book a session at powersbenzocoaching.com. If you want to learn more about the school or just have some free content, I've got a lot of free content out there on that. And you can learn more about the school via benzorecoveryschool.com. So it's, like I said, $30 a month. There's no contracts. You can quit anytime if it's not your thing. But personally, I think there's some really valuable resources. And if you get in there, even for a month, I think you will be able to really bring some things home with you for sure. All right, guys, leave me a comment, please, and let me know that you're still here. And also give me any suggestions on content you might want to see or hear from me. What would you like me to explain and break down? I have a pretty good list that I'm going to try to get through here, and but let me know. All right, guys, I'm going to get back to work. Godspeed, much love. You are healing and you will heal. Goodbye.